in queue very much indie. So I quickly hard reset the game because it was on the demo for too long. And if I get the demo, the game tends to lag like crazy, so that's not something we want to be doing. Anyways, I am just about ready to go, so I'll count you guys off in 3, 2, 1, go. So, at the start of Kirby and Amazing Mirror, we get this nice little tutorial section where you can kind of see what Kirby can do. And we're going to start off with our first little skip. We're going to jump right here and clip right under that thing. You're supposed to wait for your other Kirbys to help you out and push that thing. But we don't need to do that. First try wheel mix, let's go. So a really quick tutorial on how mixing works. You suck up 2 enemies that have abilities and you get a nice little mixing wheel. You have to time your button press in a 4-frame window to give you the ability that you want. And in this case we want wheel. We will be seeing this ability a lot. Like, a lot. It is just simply the fastest to go through certain sections where we don't particularly need specific abilities. So what is 100%? In this game, 100% is defined as get all the treasures, beat the game obviously, and go into every single room. So there are actually like entire segments where I will just go to a single room and that's it. It's really silly, but that just, yeah, we kind of just have to do it like that. Let's see. So we start off here in, well, at the start. As you can see, I'm just like grabbing chests as much as possible. What I'm also, whenever I use wheel, what I'm going to be trying to do is hit enemies as little as possible. Because every time you hit an enemy, you get like this hit lag, and you want to avoid that. This is Mr. Frosty, and that was Mr. Frosty. So these are buttons. We also have to press all of these buttons, by the way. They create doors in the hub world. They're not only useful for travel in that way, but they're also useful, they're also just necessary to press. And quite often they end up making you go faster anyway, so in 100% you just want to press them all. Okay, here we go. So here we're gonna switch out of wheel for stone. There we go. And press this other switch, which doesn't like seem to have like a hub world room like the other switch did, but it actually does. It just happens to be right there because it's the most important hub room entry as possible. This is King Golem. That was King Golem. He is like basically the Wispy Woods of this game. He's kind of easy to beat with stone because stone deals a lot of damage. And every time we beat a boss, we will be soft resetting right at the end to get to quickly skip the dance. You will only be seeing a single Kirby dance throughout this entire run. I am very sorry because Kirby dances are cute as hell. And we're gonna just move over here now. So a lot of how this run will work is basically I just seemingly randomly go into a door and just do a segment and then I go back to the start of the game, to the hub world basically. Here we go, fall down. And a lot of it is basically just good movement execution throughout. Because the way this game works, it is sort of a Metroidvania type game. So if you know, Metroidvania is basically like you have this map that is a giant maze that you have to navigate by using certain abilities or upgrades or whatever. But because this is a Kirby game, you do not actually get like upgraded. You just have to have the right abilities for the right parts, which is pretty cool idea of how to do it. So this is another nice little hub room. And we're gonna go straight into Olive Ocean here. A lot of these doors are a little nicely hidden with treasure chests right there. Ah, damn, messed that one up. So you saw me slide down there. Whenever you slide, you go faster for a little bit, but near the end you go slower, so you want to do it off edges. And this is the mini ability. You become a really, really teeny tiny Kirby, but you cannot like suck or like slide or whatever, so you have to do that without the mini, and there's some cool little tricks with that. So now we're finished with this segment. We're going to grab a wheel and then we're going to call a warp star. So you can call a warp star to bring you all the way back to the start here in the hub world. It is quite useful to do that if you want to preserve your ability. And since wheel is just that good, we of course are going to try and preserve that. And we're going to move up here. Go. And more buttons to press. So I got on my phone, I got like a little list of splits because there are 36 segments in this speedrun, so I need to pay attention to what I'm doing and try to remember it all. I don't know it by heart yet. I only know it based on my split names. So here we're gonna see our first random door entry. We just go into the room and then we leave again. This is to satisfy the getting into all rooms definition of 100%. It's very important to do that. I always do that wheel. Here we have to wait for these flamers. It's kind of a slow one. But the random door entries are very important, so if I miss one, that's basically just rip 100%. Which is not very nice. Oh, okay. So you saw that little yellow mirror thing go down like that. Whenever you run before certain actions, that mirror will like go down and you cannot kill it to reveal its mirror, and it's very annoying. Sometimes you don't even notice that you were running and that kind of happens. I'm usually quite astute to it, or at least I pay attention to it, but oh well. Stuff happens. So more hub room worlds, doors opened, which is really nice. And we're gonna go into this beautiful castle. I wonder what treasures we'll find in here. So here we find a cherry! Isn't that amazing? A lot of these treasure chests have very nonsensical treasure in them, like cherries or just food or whatever. But we do have to get all of them. Now this is a pretty cool section. There we go. You have to actually fall down there to get in here. Most people do that by accident. At least I did casually. I was like, oh hey, I found a secret. So yeah, a lot of wheel. If you got any wheel puns, go ahead. I really like them. I'll try to roll around as much as I can. They roll quite nicely off the tongue. And one can never get tired of them. I hope I'm not rubbering off on some people. So here we're going to be coming up to our next boss. So the music disappears and becomes quite ominous. This is Mega Titan. Oh, nice, I got the backwards hit. So the way you defeat him in the first phase is you have to push him into the electric walls. And then his head pops out, and then you have to, like, normally damage his head. But you can do quite nicely with wheel. There we go. And that was Mega Titan. And this is the first and only time that we will be seeing the Kirby dance, so savor it. Because we would very much like to keep wheel, and we need to go here anyways. So for once, we're not soft resetting right at the end. A fun little fact actually about soft resetting. The reason why I'm playing in a Japanese version is because soft resetting in the Japanese version is a second faster than soft resetting in the English version, for whatever reason. And because of that, it is just way faster. I think it saves, like 20 seconds in 100%. I'm not sure how often you soft reset, but you do it a lot. Here we got some water movement. So the way water movement works in this game is a little tricky. You cannot swim down without and have a direction at the same time. So it's kind of like the way that Mario swims in Super Mario Brothers, I think. You can only really swim upwards easily. So that's kind of annoying. It's really bad swimming mechanics in my opinion. Okay, nice. Nice, first try on that mix. So the setup on that mix is harder than the mix itself, in my opinion. It looks pretty easy. I make it look easy, but it's actually pretty hard to do. You have to practice it a lot. And we picked UFO because that way we can shoot that bomb block and skip about 20 seconds of movement right there on the top. And it's a pretty nice skip. There's like 3 or 4 different iterations of skipping, going all the way around. The trick I happen to use is called the sword skip because it skips using the sword skip. We're really good at naming, believe me. We try our best. So here we're gonna kill another mirror and go in it. Reveal this little secret area. Yeah. Getting some annoying RNG here. And now we're gonna do some nice little puff tricks like that to quickly get through this room and grab a vitality. So what a vitality basically does, it ups your health by 1. So it's really useful to... It's already quite useful to have them anyways. But that way, like, near the end of the game, I'll just, like, be racing through certain sections and just getting hit a ton and not caring one bit. Skipping the cannons because they're slow. Ow. So we're grabbing stone here. The only reason we want stone is to be able to defeat the boss near the end, because stone deals a lot of damage to just about anything, and it's pretty useful for that fact. Let's go. And here you can see the swimming in action quite well, how annoying it is. Go. And on to our next boss. So the next boss is called Gobbler. It is a shark. If I get lucky, which I do, I kill him in 1 hit. Which is pretty nice. Let's see. Okay. Quickly checking where I need to go next. That might have been... Whenever I soft reset, by the way, I need to be a little bit careful to not soft reset too early, because that way the game will not actually have saved what I just did. And I have to probably do the entire split all over again, which can be a pretty big time loss. So now we're gonna uncover a new area. Just we need to get to it. Oh, okay, that's bad. I need to think for a moment. I think I can do this section fine with that wheel. It's a lot faster with wheel, but this works too. I usually don't lose wheel there. It's a little annoying. Oh yeah. It's fine that I lost wheel actually, because we're gonna do another mix here. Now certain mixes are quite easy, you can just let them go and then you get the ability you want. It's actually, in 100% we try to rat out as many of those kinds of mixes because they're simply put the easiest mixes to perform. And now we're using Missile. Now Missile is a very tricky thing to use well because when you press a direction, it takes a while before it to actually go in that direction. Except if you like stop it in some way, it's very annoying movement. And whenever I'm using it, you'll see me fail with it a lot because it's just really tricky to use well. But if you're really good with it, you're just like really fast. Just gonna leave Missile there. I don't particularly need it anymore. And we're gonna go into our next hub room section. So more buttons will be pressed. There we go. Oop. Yeah, okay. Just checking which split I was on. A lot of the segments look a lot like each other, so it's quite easy to make a mistake and accidentally do the wrong segment at the wrong time. It usually isn't that impactful, but it's nice to know what you've done already. We're gonna go through here with Mini again, and we're gonna get hacked. Okay, cool. And soft reset. We soft reset right there because that is the end of that section. So we don't really, like the moment we enter that room, we've done everything that we would be wanting to do there. I'm gonna, see if I can get a mix going. Ooh, I was one off there, I think. I was going for another UFO mix. I'm not very good with that one, sadly, but that was pretty close. Instead, we're just gonna go for granny strats. We just have to wait a little bit and jump around here. So with the UFO, what we could have done is the same thing that I did with the previous UFO mix. You could just like skip having to go all around. It doesn't lose too much time, but it's a nice little time save if you can get it. And now for one of the cutest abilities in this game, Angel. Kirby is a heartbreaker after all. Or it's actually called Cupid. And a lot of people are just like insanely happy that it actually has a use in the speedrun. If only for like literally just this little section. Which is pretty funny. So you see that block over there? The only way you can move that block is by having 4 Kirbys suck it up. Now the problem is with that particular block is that the... yeah, dang. That the AI Kirbys will actually not help you suck that block up. You have to do that with 4 players. And doing 4-player co-op in this game is not fun. Okay, I got lucky there. So whenever golems do certain moves, they can change what ability they give if you suck them up. So I had to be a little bit careful there. So I got stone for this next boss right here. So this is another Kirby staple. This is Greco. I'm just gonna jump on him a lot with stone. Hope he gives us some good moves. Ah, dang, I missed that. Oh, damn. I don't want to die. Give me something good. There we go. That was Greco. Didn't go too well, but that's fine. We'll manage. Okay. Next up, we're gonna go to the left here. There we go. And we're gonna uncover a little bit more areas. Grab ourselves a wheel because we like wheels. And we got some good music because we're in Peppermint Palace. I would very much like to mention that this game has some of the best Kirby tunes out there. So again, grabbing some Hub Worlds rooms right here. Now instead of usually we went back and then to the next section, we'll just go to the next section right now. We'll be seeing this particular room a lot. It is the hub part of Peppermint Palace. Oh damn. I'm not gonna actually defeat this mid-boss. It's just easier to leave and grab this chest. And then move to the right. So one of the techniques I haven't really mentioned with wheel is wheel jumping. So whenever you press A and B at the same time, you get like way more height than you're supposed to. And it's pretty useful for certain sections. It actually allows us to do jumps that we wouldn't be able to normally. Switching to UFO here because we're fighting a mid-boss. There we go. That's all we really need. Alright. Okay, we're gonna try and set this up. No, okay. You can set up a mix there for a very useful ability in the next room. But oh well. Just keeping the thing sucked up so it's easier. There's a nice backup here though. I wanted hammer, but stone works just fine because we need to push in this peg so we can continue on. So a lot of this run was actually like routed a very long time ago by, I believe, either Mug or Bridgeman, which are very old school runners. Eventually, Fretzy had the world record for a very long amount of time, until Cobra came along and just rerouted the entire thing to make it a lot easier and faster. And then Swordsman Kirby took over that route and made it even better. And he is the current world record holder of the game. I'm gonna grab Parasol for this boss. This is Wiz. Also known as really, really annoying. So he moves around somewhat randomly. You can sit on 4 spots in the screen. And sometimes you can just like do that and run through you. And it's just really obnoxious when he does that. Wow, that had way more hitbox than I expected. Ah, 1 sliver of health. It's a little annoying. And again, soft resetting right at the end. Oh, that was a little slow actually. We're gonna go over to our next segment, like overarching segment. So we've done basically most of the setup and early cleanup. And we're gonna go back to this part that we did all the way at the start. There's a lot of duplicate rooms that we'll go through in this run. But then every time we have a slight little twist. And this twist is that we're going to the right side rather than the left one. You can actually see if you've been in a door before by the little star on top. If it like shines brightly, you've been there. You haven't been there before. If it doesn't, oh, I really would have liked to keep wheel there. Ah, I can actually do that. Nice. Didn't expect that. I usually just lose wheel there whenever that happens. There is a backup, but this works a lot better. Because this room is just a pain to do without wheel. There we go. So, if you've ever played Smash, this little guy might be familiar to you. This is Master Hand. Oh, come on. So we're gonna suck up Master Hand, and he gives us the Smash ability. Now, if you've played Super Smash Bros. Melee, basically this gives Kirby the exact same abilities he has in that game. So we're basically just playing Smash Kirby right now. And it's really useful because all of his moves can do very useful things for us. Like solve puzzles or whatever, like this one. The reason why they put this in here is because the director of the studio that made this game also did Super Smash Bros. Melee, like Hell Laboratories did that with Sakurai, and as a little homage they put this into this game, and we will use that to our advantage and try to keep this as long as possible. There's some very annoying rooms that I have to navigate through with trying to keep it. Okay, well that was fast. Luckily there's a backup mixer right here. I always lose it in that room. It happens a lot. So I am well versed in getting that backup. Sadly. You would very much like to say that you'd never really have to use it, but more often than not, I do. And this section is also just, when you're learning this category, this little section kills more runs than you'd believe. Just like using the right moves at the right moment it bothers me. There we go. So we needed Smash here for this little door. And we're gonna move through here. Whenever I get hit and I don't need to use my ability, I'll just like keep it in my mouth and run around until the end. Makes life easier. There we go. So now we're gonna fight against Fan Fan. Now whenever I touch Fan Fan, this happens. It is really annoying and makes this a very annoying boss fight. Mid-boss fight. Especially because there's like patches of ice on the ground, so you can like accidentally slide into him. And that's that little section. Okay. And then we're gonna move to a very dangerous part to do with Smash. I can lose my ability very easily here if I don't pay attention. There's a little backup, but it still loses me a decent amount of time since I do need Smash all the way to the end of this segment. So the problem is, when you get hit in water, you will lose your ability just like any other moment. But the problem is, you can't suck up things while in water. So if you do it at the wrong moment, you can just like lose your ability forever and have to like re-grab it somewhere else. I'm playing this somewhat safely. go. Okay, that was nice. So I needed Smash for this little bit. The backup is literally like to the right where you just have to fight a mid-boss, but that just takes so long to do, so this is just easier. And then we go back here. Oh, come on. So some treasures are a little bit nasty to find. You have to like pay attention. And for instance, you have to swim all the way down here and to the right to get this one. With a little music thing. So other things that I haven't actually mentioned that could be in treasure chests are like those music things or spray paints that make Kirby look different. Anyways, we're gonna do a little bit of an exploit. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21. So you're supposed to call the Kirbys and move this block out of the way, but you can just do this. It is not supposed to happen like that, but for some reason it does. And it's really useful, but you have to count an exact amount. It's either 20 or 21 works. I like 21 more because I have trouble with the little trick. Whoa, what? I still made that? Okay. I've never seen myself clip through that like that. That's a new one. But yeah, for the stone thing, still, what? When you jump up, you have to tap left for a moment, and when you do that, for some reason your hitbox will become slightly less wide, allowing you to quickly, to just like jump that tight little gap. And if you do more than 21, you will not be able to enter the door anymore. So you have to do that little trick to get it. Now for one of, for me, most rage-inducing segments. This can be really annoying if things don't go my way. Another little trick there. Get the brown spray paint. And we get the fight against Metaphire again. Oh, ouch. There we go. It's 3 hits of the hammer, and then he's dead. Okay. Ow. No, 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 no. I want to keep that. Thank you. I was afraid it was gonna go into the spikes. Whenever like those stars go into spikes, they just disappear forever. And that's just really annoying, and it happens way too often there. So we're gonna do something funky here. So usually whenever I end a segment, I go like all the way back using a star call. But this time, it's just easier to go into the hub room like that, and then just take the door right up. It's a fun little thing. I actually like, it's the only time we do that, and I really enjoy it for some reason. It just feels silly whenever you're like, you're so used to just soft resetting or calling a warp star home, that it's just weird to see you just go into the hub room and go into the next section like that. I'm gonna go down here for a little bit. Ooh. Just to grab this chest. Give give me that back, thank you. Okay, so this room has a lot of different treasures and you have to go through it in a specific way to grab them all. Like this one, and then we go back a little bit. There's also like that little bomb block is a trap that makes you unable to get to the treasure. Then we go right here and grab even more treasure. Very valuable stuff. A lot of people have actually like compared this to the Great Cave Offensive of Kirby Superstar and Superstar Ultra, which is kind of fair, I guess, but it still has its own things going on with it, which I like a lot. Gonna drop Smash here, I don't really need it anymore. I'm gonna hope this guy does what I want him to do. Yeah, there we go. So now, that way we get Wheel back again. Like I said, we're gonna be seeing a lot of Wheel. I hope you don't get dizzy. Nice, we got good RNG on Frosty. There we go. That was a really fast Frosty. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I have to kill him all the time. Still has to do like a loogie run, right? So here in Kinnin11, we're gonna go left for a little bit. Ooh, okay, that was bad movement. And we're gonna go back to right. Got the red paint. Again, like, I would very much love to show off these paints, but it's just so slow to just go into the menu and select them. And also, whenever I soft reset, the color will reset back to pink, so it's not really useful. Oh no, I messed up the trick. I'll have to reset the room real quick. It's a really nice little trick here. There we go. That is pretty tough to hit. So the thing about this section in Kinnin11 is that it's basically a loop, and there's a very sneaky way of getting out of the loop, which I will show in a bit. There we go. So now we've explored all the parts of the loop. And I have to grab stone here. So we can get the CD player. So in most Kirby games, you can actually just listen to music whenever. But in this game, you actually have to get the CD player and all of the songs first. That way you can finally listen to music and whatever. It's a little sad because there are just so many good songs in this game. I'm gonna go to the left here because, well, we have stone, so we might as well just do this section while we're at it. You can actually make that cycle with the Gordo, but it's actually... I tried it and I made it and then still got hit by the other one, so it doesn't really work too well. Here we get Fan again. Luckily he's a lot easier with stone. And then we got another Vitality and soft reset. Okay. Needed to check where I needed to go. So now we're gonna do a little missile section. Yay, missile. You're gonna see me feel a lot of movements. Ah! There's some very interesting ways that you can feel movement with missile. Like get unlucky like that. Oop, that was too early. If you've seen me do co-op with Sniper before, this is actually the section I go to right at the beginning of the game. And we're finally here. This is fine. I like to do it like this anyways. That twister can be really annoying, so it's better to just kill him off. And that is the only real reason why we need it. Well, one of two reasons we need it, Missile. And then we're gonna call a star back home. To go to the next section. Again, we like to keep Missile here, so... can do that entire thing in one Missile, if you're good. Sadly, I'm not good, so... Oh my god! That's the first time I've ever done that! That was smooth. Oh wow, that was some good movement right there. Might be a little bit overreacting, but whew, that was sexy. Okay. So now we're gonna go to the left here, and we're gonna go back to our good old friend, Mr. Frosty. Hello. And we're just gonna leave him this time. I'm gonna go here and hopefully do this right. I have died there many times, losing me about a minute. It's kind of silly. It's like the recover time for Missile is just so long whenever you get hit that you just can't do anything for a while, and if you happen to be above an abyss, you're just up like what I'm saying, above a hole, you're just gone. Just die instantly. It's kind of lucky. So this is a switch throw, we like to call these. They're connections between two different sections in the game. They're actually not really useful, except for one. We're going to be using one of them a little later on. To speed things up. And we don't need Missile anymore, thank God. I'm just gonna set up a mix here. This one I actually do have to stop, because otherwise I'll get the one after wheel. If I don't, it's like, it took me a long time to really realize that I had to do that, and I was like, oh, you're gonna be kidding me. I was hoping that you could just like let it rip, but let it rip and turn into a Beyblade, but sadly. I was getting so many groans that I had to like look around for a moment. Woo! Cutting it close there. There we go. Could I just... Thank you. A lot of this is just so heavily movement based, and I'm making a lot of mistakes. And the moment we get here, we're just going to peace out and go to our next section. Whee! The Reddish Ruins is quite an interesting spot. It's actually, in any percent, this is like my favorite segment to go through. And in 100% there's actually also a lot of fun to do because you get to abuse Wheel a lot. And using Wheel is just a joy. At first I thought it was like really boring. You just like watch some dude like just wheel around the whole time, just jump every now and then. It was just, why could that ever be fun? But this is actually, it's a lot more fun than you think. I mean, it's like a Sonic game. Exactly. So now I've pressed all the buttons, and that gives me this little room in the home world. Now in that room is basically every single copy ability in the game I have at my disposal. Hopefully, we'll never have to go into that room to re-grab a certain ability. So here's another switch throw. We're just gonna leave it open right now. We're gonna come back to it later. So here we only push the first button because there is a little chest right here, sneakily hidden. I mean, most people in their casual playthroughs have probably gotten that one because they weren't fast enough. But as a speedrunner, you have to like pay attention to that, or else you'll just like randomly forget it. Oh, okay. I got lucky. Oh wow. Sometimes you bonk off of that little ledge, and sometimes you don't. I have no idea what determines that. It's just really random. Some really bad movement here as well. So the game here expects you to grab burning to get through this little puzzle, but you can just use wheel because wheel is just way overpowered. And go into this part. Oop. And then we're done over here, so we're gonna call ourselves a warp star again and go back home. And so a moment ago I turned one of the switch throws, and we're gonna use it now to quickly travel from Carrot Castle back into Radish Ruins. It's the only time that one of these things is useful, and it's pretty neat if you ask me. Saves a little bit of travel time, and you have to get those anyways, so. Ooh, not exactly what I wanted to do. There we go. So if you're familiar with any percent, you might already be guessing where we're going right now. We're going to be fighting Monster again. Well, hello there. There we go. We're not going to grab him this time because we have a lot of ground to cover. So that makes wheel just simply the best. So let me use a couple of nice wheel jumps right there. They're really useful. Or should I say, really useful. I hope I'm not, like, drifting off into aimless rambling. Ooh. Get some ominous sound. The wind. This actually always reminds me of the mini game where you like have to time a duel, like a button press basically. I never remember what it's called again. I'm gonna do this real quick. Grab wheel back and whee. So here we have a Shadow Kirby. And we're gonna fight against the Pokemon Gen 2 rifle. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Obviously this is Meta Knight. He is completely random, but we can manipulate his moves by sliding into him. He will most often do that down stab attack. So that way we can have a more consistent fight against him, which is something we really do want. Because having to deal with just random chans is the most annoying thing. Okay. So in this section, there are a couple of other treasures that we have to get. That's why I need stone. Ooh. Maybe hit the button. That would be nice. Go. And we get what, according to a lot of people, is the best color in the game. I disagree with that. It's called Sapphire. It's a pretty nice blue color, fair enough, but I like Carbon more. It's like a black Kirby with red feet. It's pretty cool. It's pretty edgy. Edgy Kirby. So Bonkers you can just defeat quite easily with Stone, and we don't need Stone anymore. We don't need Beam either, we need Throw. Here we go. So what Throw does is whenever you suck up certain objects, you can hold them. And it's a very useful ability for this boss, because this boss likes to throw a lot of things. Randomly. And we just got... Yeah! Ah, we didn't get the most perfect RNG, but pretty good RNG. And I messed up. Oh, there we go. So that's the way you kind of use Throw. He likes to just like go around randomly, and he can lose you a lot of time if he wants to. I almost got the best RNG, but sadly I didn't. Cannon fire, okay. This is gonna be another short and sweet segment. With Vanilla Kirby, as we like to call him. Vanilla Kirby in this game is actually good. There are a couple of Kirby games where Vanilla Kirby is just very annoying to deal with. And if you have like a good, fast Vanilla Kirby, the entire game just feels sped up a little bit. And that's why I really do enjoy speedrunning this game a lot, even through all the randomness it throws at you. Simply because it just feels fast to play. It's just nice. Gonna go into a little cannon there. Random door entry. And then we're gonna use a little trick with fire. If you hold directional buttons while with fire, your fire will be able to go further out than usual. Okay. So now we're gonna go back over here. We haven't been here in a while. And we're gonna go up. Need sword to press that button over there. I'll show you how. Whee! Nice of the game to give that to us. And that's all we really needed sword for. I'm gonna switch back into missile because, well, I can't suck at missile movement that much now, can I? I hope. Maybe. Well, we'll see. Okay, we got decently lucky with chips there. Or Hopsala in German. Ah, that was almost really good movement. Oh well, I need to grab Mini here anyway. So what the game wants you to do here is to suck up that block, re-grab Mini, and then go up, but you don't really have to do that. You can just do it like that. And that's all we needed to do there. Okay. And then we're gonna go over here into Carrot Castle again. Well, it's not really Carrot Castle yet, but to me it always feels like this section is part of Carrot Castle. Oh, damn. Make sure that one is dead now. Can usually, if you do things right, you don't have to kill that enemy. I'm gonna not go into that cannon, instead we're gonna go into this one. Ooh. This one is a little tricky. If you hit the other block, you cannot go into the part with the treasure, so you have to be careful where you slide. You can mess that up quite easily. So it took a little bit more time to make sure I didn't mess that up. Damn. That's unlucky. I didn't need to do that yet. Okay, so up. We're gonna set up a little thing. Gonna get a double star. And then we're going to run into this enemy, and he's going to grab us, and then move to the other side of the screen, giving us a double hit on the double star, instantly killing him, which is really nice. Because then we can get over here quickly. Yep. So we're gonna use Fighter for a little bit. Fighter has a pretty interesting moveset. Like when you just walk or run, you do a certain move. It's pretty fun to play around with it. But the most useful thing is that little move, which allows us to get to this chest really fast. And then we're gonna go over to this mirror, and then we're done. Finish heart, okay. So for the next segment, we will be needing stone. We're gonna go back into Radish Ruins. And we're gonna rock some people's worlds. I'm gonna go into here. There we go. So the thing is about invincibility candies in this game, they only give you invincibility. They don't give you speed ups like in Superstar, or I think another Kirby game does it as well, but I don't remember which. And we did all that just to grab another vitality. More health, more better, as people like to say. Just perfect English. I can already feel someone saying no, but whatever. We're gonna go up with Missile here. I already messed it up. That was pretty decent though. And just wheel a little bit. So this little treasure is really annoying. You can miss it so easily. And casually that has happened to me more than once. And now we're gonna go over to this part again. As I said, we're gonna revisit a lot of rooms. It just kind of happens. It is a Metroidvania style game anyways. So the thing that we've never used until now is we're gonna call the idiots, or the other Kirbys. They're gonna push down that button for us. The idiots usually help you with certain puzzles, but we've been trying to skip using them as often as possible because they often create lag whenever they're in a room with you, and it just like everything slows down, or they grab certain things that you want to grab, and it's just honestly just very annoying to have them around. That's why we call them the idiots. Now, this might seem like I'm redoing a certain segment right now if you're still paying proper attention, but I'm not. Don't worry about it. Again, revisiting a lot of rooms. I got unlucky this time with the chips. Ooh. Okay, I'll just do this then. Hello, inputs? Can I use you? Getting hit there is fine. We're gonna switch an ability again soon. So this is another mix that we can just like let rip, and we'll get wheel again. Like I said, I never really get tired of wheels, so seeing it a lot doesn't matter to me. Using the same pun twice doesn't matter to me either. Grabbing the worst color in the game, that was cherry. If you want to torture me, force me to use cherry in whatever I do. I really don't like that color. I don't understand why people do. It's just, ugh. It's like a pink Kirby with green feet and green cheeks. That just doesn't work. Instead, I would much rather see a white Kirby with red feet, like that one. That one's cute. Grab ourselves a new map. So those map things that I've been picking up, what they basically do is whenever you go into the start menu, you can just read the map of the area you're in or other areas. And they actually show you if you missed going into a room or if you still haven't like gotten a treasure that was in a room. And that's quite useful for casual play. For speedrunning, it's like you just have to trust that you got everything, which quite often happens, but when I was first starting out, I still checked the map regularly to make sure I got everything. Because there is a lot of stuff that we need to get in 100%. Okay. Again, going back here. I hope you guys haven't gone sick of this music yet. Good. It is, after all, one of the best themes in this entire game. In my opinion, there is. A lot of people say this is the best one, but I feel like Candy Constellation is probably my favorite. We'll be hearing that a lot pretty soon. Okay. We're actually going to be seeing that just about now, as we're going to go into Candy Constellation. Just like the intro is amazing. Whoa, why did I? Okay, yeah. I kind of messed up my timing, so I got a little confused there. So there's a little labyrinth. It actually has two ways to get through. We're going to go this way right now, and the other way in a little bit. Because we, of course, have to go everywhere. At least once. Can I have wheel back? Thank you. Can I just, like, not do that? Please! Let me live! So, this is often referred to as lag room. It has a tendency to slow down the frame rate a little bit on this specific screen. But we did that one perfectly, so we have absolutely no trouble with it. You can kind of see it lag right there. And then we're going to see our big friend, Master Hand again. Why, hello there. Nice, I set it up. And we're off screen. Bye! So right at the end of that boss fight, the screen actually has trouble keeping up with wheel, so you just race off screen. Luckily, you don't have to press any buttons while off screen, which makes life pretty nice. There we go. Let's see if I can get these. Nice, got the frame saving jumps. Again, jumping in the right spots to reduce hit lag as often as we can. And going back to missile. We'll be using a lot of these kind of movement options. They're nice. See if I can get this movement as smoothly as I did the other. Ah, close. Can go all the way up here, but I'm not that good at it. Pretty good though. Shadow Kirby. Also, this is a completely useless candy, because we're going to go into a boss soon, and the moment you go into the boss, the candy disappears. So, again, a reference to Melee. This is Crazy Hand and Master Hand working in perfect harmony. Just killed Crazy Hand, and we just killed Master Hand. That was pretty good. Pretty good fight. And now we have restored the mirror. I should actually talk about that, maybe. So well, first things first. We are going to go into the mirror and soft reset. This will allow us to skip a cutscene a little later on. So, what is actually the story of this game? Well, there's a world above Dreamland, which is the world of Kirby. It's called the Mirror World. It's basically like, they say it's the same as this world, only mirrored, as Dreamland only mirrored or something. I don't know. And it's in trouble. There's some mirror things going on. And you have this Shadow Kirby that is basically the Kirby of this world. And he tries to help you out as often as possible. He's not very good at it though. He only becomes useful at the end, and even then, not in the speedrun. And it's actually the Dark Meta Knight that caused us to split up in 4 different Kirbys. To be able to... I don't know really why. I think to divide the power. Oh well. We get Batafire again. Oh, I didn't have a double star. Okay, that's a problem. Let's call our friends. This might take a while, unless I grab UFO from one of them. Or I'll die myself. And that all just for that chest. So annoying sometimes. The idiots were useful in giving me a UFO ability. That's all they were good for. Fair enough. Okay, that's a problem. Let's just go right back. I would very much like to do this split with Missile. It saves a lot of time. Even if I'm bad. And we're gonna go over here. Customer? Customer. Okay. So again, a lot of water movements. If I lose Missile here, I don't care. I'll just continue. No use in resetting an entire segment like that. It's a little tricky right here, but it works out usually. Game designers thought of everything. Let's see how well we can do this movement. Not well at all. Amazing. Yeah, it's actually a fun fact. Whenever I run this game, the amount of times I say amazing increases tenfold. I have no idea why. Probably because this is quite the amazing game. It's actually a bit of a joke as well because, well, this is a maze. It's actually not my pun. It's not my pun. It's actually the pun of the localization team. So, and in other languages, it's like something like the wonderful mirror world. So there is only a pun in English. There's probably a pun in Japanese as well because the Japanese love puns. But sadly, I can't read Japanese, so. Fun fact, fire is good against an ice boss. I'm gonna use fire to quickly grab this. And we're gonna soft reset again. Or shouldn't have. Okay. So again, we're gonna travel a little bit with Vanilla Kirby. That took me way too long to think of. Coming up is a little bit of an annoying trick. I failed it a bunch in practice because I was being silly. There we go. First try. It's not that hard, but it can trip you up quite easily. I also like to call this the ouch split, because I get hurt a lot. And I tend to not really care, because, I mean, look at the sheer amount of health I've accrued by now. It's just like, you can get hit, like, more than... I can't count. It's like you can hit, like, 9 times. It's not that annoying. Bottle in space. Okay. We're gonna go over here real quick and grab wheel. Now you'd think that we'd go into the ability room that I spoke of a little earlier, but this is actually way faster because you're already on the right side of the hub world, so it just happens to be faster to do it like that. Also, I don't even know where wheel is in the ability room. So now we're gonna go back to the labyrinth I was in a little earlier, right here. And we are going to take the other path that I mentioned. It's fine to lose wheel there because we need to switch to beam. I did not want to do this. Thank you. And that's why we needed beam, just for this little one-up. And we're gonna run. Run like the wind. That guy can be really annoying. More little puff shenanigans to quickly get through this little puzzle. And soft reset, going into the next section of Candy Constellation. But first, we need wheel. I feel like at least 50% of this run is just wheel. I'm sorry if you guys get bored by that. Wheel. It's not a wheel of fortune. I'm sorry, that doesn't work. I am quite wheeling about the amount of time I use it. I didn't catch that. That was a pun with reeling. I'll be here all day. Yes, wheelie. So somewhere at the start of this game, of this run, I mean, we went all the way into Carrot Castle and took a very interesting route. And all the way at the end, we're gonna take that route again. I always find that a little bit poetic that you end somewhere near the start. Usually this would mean in most Metroidvania games that you're so overpowered that you kill everything just by looking at it, but that's not Kirby. Ah, damn. Kinda messed up that jump. So we're gonna go into the middle one this time. Ooh. Hit lag tripped me up there. We're gonna call the Kirbys again, and they're gonna perform a little dance for us because they do weird things here. They're gonna keep doing that. Just that slide over and over and over and over and over again. We could sit there for hours and all they'll be doing is that slide. It's just how they're programmed. They can't help it. Here you can like really see how hit lag works and why we like to avoid it as much as possible. But sadly in that room it's just faster to go through them like that. There we go. And that's our last Vitality Heart. We're actually wrapping up. We're getting close to the final part of the game. So rather than soft resetting, I'm going to call a warp star here. This is so that the Kirbys still are in the room I want them to be, so that they don't come back into the hub world and stay there. Because if they do, I have to do an extra reset, losing me about 4 or 5 seconds. which I don't want to do. This is just a little easier. I'm gonna go up here. Oop, I want to do a slide. Thank you very much. Oops. Whee. Now, if I'm correct, I got everything now, so we're gonna go into the final mirror and the final boss fights. This is Dark Meta Knight. He basically works the same as normal Meta Knight, except that he has an extra set of moves, one of which allows me to deal him a lot of damage. And we're floating in space. So we're gonna set up something really cool. The final boss is coming up in right now, so we're gonna set up a double star. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a double hit on him, so that we deal a lot of damage with the double star. So this is Dark Mind, the final boss of the game. And that was Dark Mind. Quite amazing, if you ask me. So, this is Dark Mind, the final boss of the game. And he's being annoying. There we go. We're actually on PB pace right now. Pretty big one as well. I would like to mention that. So the reason why the double star works, by the way, is because he lurches backwards, giving the invisibility frames enough time to recharge. But this is Dark Mind, the final boss of the game. He didn't give me good luck this time. If you get the right pattern, you can skip having to do all this movement and just get the ability you need to continue. But sadly enough, we didn't get that. So we didn't get a free 20 seconds. But anyway, this is Dark Mind. He happens to be the final boss of the game. It's just incredible. So this time he doesn't die in one hit, which is fine. The first one was the green one. Right now I want to get a green star because that gives me a mix. Oh my! Please, Dark Mind, be nice to me. I shouldn't have said that was our own PB pace. That was giving me horrible RNG. Like, absolutely horrible RNG. So, like, now we just have to wait. I could, like, not do the mix, but I'm really bad with it, and it'll probably lose me more time. Again, the first one. Just give me the move I want you to do. This one works too. If you give me the right... Oh my god. Wow! I'm getting... There we go, that's the move I want him to do. And then he's just like 1x1 stars. There we go. We got UFO first try. I missed. And now I can't kill him for some reason. You're kidding me, Dark Mind. You're actually kidding me, right? There we go. That took way too long. Yeah, it's gonna be close now. So this is Dark Mind, the final boss of the game. Guess you didn't know that yet. This time he's a giant red ball. You want to hit both the eyes and the mirrors in the same shot. It deals a lot of damage. As you can see, he's almost dead already. just inverts the screen real quick, but it's not really useful. I can still PB with this. It's gonna be close. I should have called the Kirbys because I have no health right now. I just noticed. Oh, okay. Oops. Let's hope we get some good RNG and I can dodge things. Because this Dark Mine is a shoot 'em up for some reason. Because it's a Kirby game and almost all Kirby games have shoot 'em ups. Don't get ready on time yet. It's a little later on. Nice! That was a really good Dark Mine 6. Okay, so now we have to wait for the credits because the 100% timing ends on the screen that tells you that you've got 100%. So we have to wait for that entire thing. This takes about 1 minute and 50 seconds, which I can already confirm that this is actually a personal best right now. So that's pretty nice. See if we can get a meme. No! 62! Again, 7 not enough. So we're gonna skip this cutscene. It's a really nice cutscene, but it's all in Japanese, so we can't read it anyways. Okay, now get ready on time. This takes a small while. Bye, Kirby. Thank you for doing things. And wait for it. Time! And that is about a 50-second PB, so I'm pretty happy about that one. Anyways, that was Kirby and Amazing Mirror. Big shout outs to the Kirby community. You guys are awesome, and it's fun to hang out with you from time to time. So, yeah, I'm not sure what we have next up. Final Fantasy IV, I just see it. So we'll set that up, and we'll be seeing you later. Thank you very much for watching.